Growing a business is kind of tricky right now. Supply chains are squeezed, tariffs and trade policies are dynamic, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. You need clarity to come out on top. Without it, you risk falling behind. If only you could hop in the DeLorean and see the future, right? Thankfully, there's NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite has real-time forecasting to help you move ahead with confidence. This is your AI-powered business management suite and the #1 cloud ERP. Trusted by over 42,000 businesses, NetSuite brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. And with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. The perfect product launch. It's the goal for every brand marketer. High heat, fast sellout, and fans posting recipes like trophies. What do Sydney Sweeney's soap drop, Taylor Swift's tickets, and your next launch have in common? Well, they're not bought, they're bragged about. Fanfare turns your drop into a moment. Fanfare cues real fans, blocks bots, and builds launch experiences worth screenshotting. Want hype without the heartbreak? Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook with our proven success formula and make your next launch unforgettable at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, fanfare.io/playbook. Congrats, your business is doing great. All your hard work is paying off, but you need help like now, and you have to hire fast. How can you hire amazing candidates quickly? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. And with sponsored jobs, your posts jump to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach people you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. One of the things I love most about Indeed is that it has one of the largest databases of job seekers, giving employers access to a wide range of candidates. And with job alerts, I get notified when new candidates apply. And with Indeed sponsored jobs, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts, and you only pay for results. So how fast? Well, in the minute that I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/smartpassive. Just go to Indeed.com/smartpassive right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/smartpassive. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed, is all you need.
This is the Smart Passive Income Podcast with Pat Flynn, session number 198. All right, team, here we go. 3, 2, 1, podcast.
Welcome to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, where it's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later. And now your host. He competes with himself to see just how much broccoli he can eat. Pat Flynn.
Still using a copy-paste website? Break the template trap with Framer. Whether you're overwhelmed by traditional site builders or frustrated with cookie-cutter designs, Framer gives you the freedom to create a site that's professional, polished, and uniquely yours. Framer is the design-first, no-code website builder that lets anyone ship a production-ready site in minutes. It's free to start, allowing you to browse hundreds of pixel-perfect templates or even design something on your own on a totally blank canvas. Add bold animations like appear effects, text effects, parallax scrolling, scroll animations, looping animations, and much more in seconds. The built-in AI handles the heavy lifting, generating starter layouts, and can even translate your entire site to any language. Ready to build a site that looks hand-coded without hiring a developer? Launch your site for free at framer.com and use code SPI to get your first month of pro on the house. That's framer.com, promo code SPI. Framer.com, promo code SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. With running your own business, legal questions always come with the territory. Like, can I use this contract or agreement? What do I do if a client doesn't pay? Am I even structured the right way for taxes? Instead of Googling your way through legal landmines, imagine having a law firm ready to address your business's legal needs without the sticker shock. That's what you get with Legal Shield's small business plans. Legal Shield helps entrepreneurs access real legal help on contract reviews, collection letters, business formation guidance, and even help navigating IRS audits. Members can schedule consultations, upload documents through the app, and get support from a provider law firm that knows small business laws in your state. Plus, consultations on taxes or trademarks help you stay ahead of potential problems. And if a client is late on a payment, Legal Shield steps in with professional collection letters so you can protect your hard-earned revenue, all for a fraction of the price of hiring a lawyer on your own. Go to LegalShield.com/SPI or call 833-570-9980 to learn more and get big business legal support without a big business budget. That's LegalShield.com/SPI.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat Flynn here. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is probably one of the most exciting weeks in a while because next week, if you're listening to this on the day it comes out, my new book, Will It Fly, will be available. And I am very excited and very nervous, and it's just so many things going on. A lot has been leading up to this, and one of those things is a launch team that I've been able to build, actually, with the help of a man named Daniel Decker, who we have on the show today. He's managed launch teams for people like Lewis Howes and Michael Hyatt and other people you've probably heard of before. And I wanted to bring him on the show today to talk about how we've been able to build this team, mobilize it, and some of the strategies and tools and things you can use within this team to help you launch not just a book, but anything that you come out with a bang. So I'm not even going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it. Again, this is Daniel Decker, who is managing my launch team, which consists of over 500 people to help launch the book next week. And I hope you're going to help out too. Look out for an invitation to a launch party and all this cool stuff. Again, everything's happening next week. And if you're listening to this in the future, just go ahead and check out the book at willitflybook.com, and you can get more information about that there. Now, here we go. This is Daniel Decker, my launch team manager for Will It Fly.
All right, everybody, I'm so happy to welcome and introduce Daniel Decker to the show. Daniel, thanks for being here, man.
Oh, Pat, thanks for having me.
So your experience with launch teams, actually, before we even get into how you got into this, can you define for everybody really what is this launch team that everybody keeps talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in the book marketing and platform building industry for 14 years or so, and have started doing launch teams, I guess maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So quite a while that I've been working with them. But to me, what a launch team is really the opportunity just to mobilize your community. So for someone like you, especially who has a little bit of or larger platform, the ability to take people who are already fans and just mobilize them to engage in the content, engage in the process, and just to help you support the book and launch it in an amplified way. But it's not limited just to people with a platform. Anybody can utilize a launch team. It's really just leveraging that community.
Okay, and can this philosophy of using a launch team be used for things other than books?
Absolutely. Yeah, it can be used for basically anything from products to books or anything. And I kind of look at launch teams like, we talk about leveraging the platform and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And to have leverage, you have to have a lever. And to me, the launch team is really, anytime you're launching something, whether it's a product, a course, a book, whatever, you have to have levers to help you amplify your impact. And a launch team is just one of many opportunities.
Okay, so the launch team, how do we even get started? And I would make sure to try to address those who not only have a platform, but maybe we start with those who don't even have a platform. I think a lot of people hear this and they think, oh, well, I don't even have any fans. This is impossible for me to do. But you kind of hinted that it's not.
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean, and that's the beauty of it, because it's a really low cost opportunity and I don't want to say low hanging fruit, because it's certainly better when someone has a platform that can, like for you with your launch team, when we send out a tweet or a post, then people automatically respond. So for someone who's just starting out, they don't have to have 300, 500, 1,000 people in a launch team. They can equally be successful with 50, with 100. And most of us, if we're doing anything, we have friends out there and we're on Facebook, most of us have at least 50 to 100 people that we could invite to be a part of something with us. Mm-hmm. And it just really means doing that. So the first step is when you're looking to create a launch team, you have to invite people to be a part of it. And for me, what we do is we typically create a very simple sign-up form. I use Wufoo. There's many other solutions out there, SurveyMonkey, all kinds of things that you can, Google Forms. But I just create a very simple form that's got a few fields in it: name, email, do you want to be a part of this launch team, that kind of thing. And you send that out to people. You can post it on social, you can do it on email, you can text a friend and just invite them to be a part of what you're creating. And you'll really be surprised because most people doubt how many people would be interested in helping them. They're like, what do they get out of it? They're just going to promote my stuff. And that's not necessarily true. They look at it as being endeared to you because they want to be a part of the process. They want to learn how it goes. And many just will do it to support you because they like you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so kind of getting into the more specific, can you define what those fields are? I think a lot of people are going to be interested. So it's name, email, and you also collected, I think, the Twitter handle. And why do you want to be a part of this and what you could do to help promote, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and that can kind of vary based on the type of team that's being created. But for the most part, you just want to gather the necessities, the name, the email address, you can ask for their social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and some of that is so that you can build a list that you could share with the team later on. I like to keep some open-ended form fields in there, such as why do you want to be a part of the team? What could you do to help promote the product or the book, or tell us something unique about yourself, something fun? I mean, the biggest thing with these, Pat, is you have to approach a team not as if this is a army of people who's just going to be promoting your wares. It is a community, so you want to make it fun. You want to make it, something that people want to be a part of, something that you're going to, treat them like you'd want to be treated if you were a part of this, of something with someone, so that you could get them in, feeling like it's fun to be a part of.
Right. And so speaking of that, like what else do people get by joining these groups? I think it's important to consider that, so that, when people ask, well, why should I join anyway? What's the point? We could really define what that is. So not just being involved in the process, but kind of what other things do they get as a result?
Sure. Yeah, for the most, in a typical book launch team, the participants of the team will typically get a review copy of the book in advance, and that can either be a physical copy that's mailed to them or a digital copy that's sent to them. And the digital copy can either be in PDF form or it can be a Kindle version or whatnot. There's, many ways to deliver it to them. And then they typically get access to a private Facebook group, and that's really just so that you can be able to communicate with them on a daily basis or however regular basis you choose to. And it's so that they can communicate together, because that's one of the big components of this. And Pat, you've experienced this too, is that the team, once they're together, they really feed off of the energy of each other. And it's really exciting just to watch them and see the things that they come up with and create and are sharing. But those are the primary things. And then you can incentivize groups. You can give them access to, if you're going to have any bonus material for their book, for your book or for your product, you can give them access to it first. You could do a special teleseminar or a webinar or something with the team as kind of a pep rally type of opportunity. You just really want to let them be a part of the process and give them opportunities to access content along the way, so that they're getting more and just really feeling so super engaged that they're going to do everything they can to spread the word.
Yeah, I want you all to think about this. You're giving access to stuff that most people aren't going to see until it's actually out. And so, as we all know, when you open up the factory doors, people get interested. People start to get hyped up about what it is that you're doing. And I think this is a perfect way to kind of lead that charge on launch day, which is really cool. And again, Daniel's been doing a great job of engaging the audience there. And it doesn't have to be somebody that you hire for this. It could be yourself in there engaging. And of course, I'm in the community, in the launch team community, participating and in there answering questions and that sort of thing too, which has been really, really fun. And, we just recently shared a few things. So when people go into that group, I think the first thing that Daniel had me do actually a long time ago was create a welcome video. And this video Daniel then posted in the Facebook group when everybody kind of arrived after the application process, which we'll get back to that in just a sec. But then, like everybody was commenting on that video. Everybody couldn't express how excited they were to be there. And then we've been sharing other things, like we just shared the intro. You could share different bits and pieces of the book, and I just shared the intro, and I have 91 comments of people totally in love with it, but also a lot of great comments and thoughts too. Again, I'm still in the middle of finalizing this book, and so I'm getting a lot of great information on things that I can then incorporate into the book too, which is really cool. So I'm making it, exactly the way it needs to be for those who it is exactly for, which I'm really, really excited about. Now, going back to the application process, should you have a goal on how many people you should have in there? And then, if you get more than that to apply, how do you kind of narrow down that group to that? Or do you take all of them?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I've done a variety of launch teams from, people like you, Lewis Howes, Michael Hyatt, Jeff Goins. So the size of the team really just varies dependent on the person's platform and what they're able to do. So for someone who's new, don't look at the fact that we talk about a 500 or 1,000 person launch team and feel that that's overwhelming, because really you can have a very successful launch team with 50, 100 people. You really need at least 50 to get some good engagement, but that's not very hard to get. If you open up your forum and you push it for a week or two, it's usually typically pretty easy to get 50, 100 people. But say that you set your goal, and that's really it's kind of an arbitrary goal of how many copies are you willing to give away if you're mailing copies, or how many course accesses are you willing to give if it's for a product or a course, those type of things. But don't feel the biggest hiccup for most people is that they say, well, why would I want to give my book away? Because these are people that might buy it later,
right.
Or a course or whatnot. But you can't look at it like that because you're battling obscurity in most cases. And the biggest thing is it's kind of, I equate it to, a local burrito shop opening up. Well, if a burrito shop opens and they give away a free burrito today and Pat Flynn goes and eats it and loves it and tells 50 friends, that restaurant, that burrito shop just made 50 more sales based off of giving away one burrito.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
it's
love
kind
burritos, by the way.
You and John Acuff, queso together. So that's a big point, is making sure that just that quantity is based on what you feel you can handle. I don't really personally like teams much larger than 500 because it starts to become too hard to manage and keep it personal. I like to keep teams very personal so that, we're really engaging with each other. We're able to listen to ideas, follow the flow in the Facebook group and whatnot. Because like you mentioned, the 91 comments on the intro chapter, a lot of those, that thing was just posted. And those comments came in pretty much instantly. People stopped what they were doing to go and read that intro and comment back. It's crazy.
Yeah, they feel special to be a part of this group, and I thank each and every one of them. For those of you who are listening who are in that group, like seriously, thank you so much. You are making an impact on what this book becomes and how it affects other people's lives too. So this is not just a strategy for, let's get more reviews on launch day, which, we ask people to do that, of course. And it's not just like let me share it with everybody to get good vibes and all that stuff. This is like you're helping to make change and to make it the thing it needs to be before we put it out there. I'm so thankful for everybody out there, and especially you, Daniel, for helping manage this team.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and that's a big, a benefit of the team too, is that when you do them far enough out, and I suggest that a launch team be organized at least 2 months away from whatever your release date is, or a month. You could go with a month, but 2 months is really more optimal, because that gives people, you want to allow proper time for them to get the copy of the book, either physically or digitally, and to read through it or get access to the course or product, and give them, honest time that because this isn't the only thing they're doing in their lives, to be able to read it or consume it or go through it. And you can use the launch team almost like a focus group or crowdsourcing to give feedback on what they liked, maybe what they didn't like. And a lot of times for books especially, I'll post in the Facebook group, hey guys, whenever you're reading any quote that really stands out to you, comment on this post and share it. And then you can look at that and you can take a lot of the more popular, the repeat quotes that people are putting in there and turn them into social media memes, shareables, nice. Tweetables, all of that. So you're basically identifying things that you may have already known. You may have thought, this thing's really going to be hot, or it may surprise you. You may look at some content and go, I didn't think that people would really resonate with that, but they really, really do. So I need to seize that opportunity and really push it. So it's a great crowdsourcing opportunity too.
Yeah, I love that. And that always happens when I share my presentations with people. I might do it in front of a few people, friends, before I actually go up on stage in front of hundreds of people. And oftentimes they tell me like, wow, that was really cool, and it's a part that like I never even really considered to be important. And so when I go up on stage and do it, then I actually emphasize that part. I might even then create a slide for it because it had an impact on a smaller quote focus group. It's sort of like a beta group for software. It's like just the same idea kind of pulled into the book specifically, or the course, or whatever it is that you're doing. And that's not to say that the people who are in here, you mentioned before that yes, you are giving away essentially your book, but I would care to say, and I'm not just planting this seed because I want people to do this. I think this is what would happen. This is what I would do if I was that involved with the early processes of the book. I would want to support the author and buy it when it comes out, even if I had a copy already.
Yeah, and that happens. That's surprising too, especially to publishers, because when I first started doing these launch teams with publishers, they were very weary of launch teams and like, why would we, give out and mail 300-500 books and da da da. And I can track it and show it over time that the net gain that a launch team has, especially for a newer author, is significant because once it kind of goes back though to that old adage where if a product's good, it'll go. If it won't, that sort of thing. So if people actually like the book and it's good, then they will buy it and they'll get copies for friends. So the exponential purchase power of the group really is impactful. Now, if they don't like the book and everybody starts getting quiet on you, then you know that you might have an issue with content that maybe you weren't aware of.
Right. And that's, again, going back to hopefully you've written good content. If it's just even a small group of 50 or even 30, it could still have a huge impact exponentially in the way that you're talking about it. What are some of the big mistakes that people have made when creating their launch teams? Obviously, you're pro at this, so you know what to do and when. But
sure.
I can imagine a lot of people trying it out and not being very successful because of a few things. What are some of those things that people can look out for?
Yeah, there's definitely a few, and one of the big ones is not treating the community like a community and treating them more like a commodity. Because you can't go in there. It's kind of like your Twitter feed or Facebook, when it's time to launch your book. Unfortunately, many people wait till the last minute. Then all of a sudden, and I'm going to flip this back to the analogy into the launch team, but with their social media, all of a sudden 2 weeks before their launch, every post that they're posting is buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. And people just are like so worn out and it's, they hate it. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with the launch team. You can't look at them. You can't treat them like mercenaries and just continually say, hey guys, go do this, go do that. You've got to also engage with them and talk to them and share with them. And just like you, Pat, you've gone in there and you've posted some authentic posts, thanking them, engaging them, appreciating them for the process and the feedback that they're giving. So it's not always just giving them marching orders of, hey guys, go do this. It is, you're a part of a community. You're networking with them. You're shepherding. You're asking them, hey, what are you guys up to? Or what ideas do y'all have? But you're listening too. That's the big thing. You can't, if someone comes up with an idea, you have to acknowledge it and share it with the group and say, man, I never thought about that. That's a crazy good idea. So-and-so, hey team, let's do that. Those sort of things. So that's one. And then the other is starting too late. That's definitely a big one. In that, with any sort of promotion, most people, especially if they're newer, tend to wait too long, thinking that they or start too late, thinking that they don't need as far out to plan and engage and things like that. So it's just improper planning on that side. And then 3 is that fear of sharing the content. Is really just a big one that holds a lot of people back of not wanting to share or give access to things that they should give access to, because your team here is going to be supportive of you. And sure, there's a remote chance that someone could take your PDF and put it out there, on some black market site or whatever. But in 14 years of me doing book marketing and working with authors, I've only seen that have a negative impact like one time. It's so minute that you're dealing with something that doesn't really affect the big outcome.
Right. Okay, so leading up to the launch, let's say the book's coming out in 2 weeks, and of course we're recording this quite early in the process, so we're not at this point yet. But I'm actually pretty curious. What happens, let's say 2 weeks out, to start to mobilize this group and to get them to really take action on launch day? And what action would that be, actually?
Yeah, one of the things that I do is we try to equip the launch team with tools. So it's not just asking them to do things, hey guys, go read the content, but we're also equipping them. We're listening, like I said, and we're taking whatever quotes and memes, and then typically we'll build a share page, and that could either be on your book site, it can be a back end page on your blog, whatever. It can be Pat Flynn /share, and on that page we would take some of those top quotes and turn them into tweetables and share images, and we'd basically embed those things on that page so that they're all there, easy click of a button. A tool that I use for the Twitter things is click-to-tweet.com.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go and you post your Twitter message on that page, and then you can just put a little button next to it, click now to tweet. So you're basically making it very easy for them to go and share and promote things that you've created that will be consistent. They're going to include the hashtag. They're going to include the URL to the book. So leading up to launch, it's really a significant push for them to be sharing, to be talking about the book with their friends, to get the word out there, to leave reviews for a book launch, to leave reviews on Goodreads.com, to be preparing to leave a review on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. You can't leave a review in most cases, you can't leave a review until the book actually is on sale on Amazon. Mm-hmm. But you're getting them in that mode that they're ready and they're prepared and they're promoting. And then typically at some point we'll do some sort of rally with the team, and that is usually within that 2-week window of launch, where we'll do a webinar or a teleseminar, something real simple. It doesn't have to be, it's very casual. It's just an opportunity to thank the team again, to do a little pep rally with them, to say, hey guys, anybody else got any creative ideas? You've seen what's going on with this, speak up now. And a lot of times they'll share ideas because they're smart people in your community that, are looking at things not just digitally, but you might have someone in I did a launch team with Mark Sanborn, a leadership author, a couple of years ago. And we had no idea, but there was a VP of a very big company that was a part of the launch team. And he got on a teleseminar one night and said, hey, I want to create these cards and give them out to 30,000 employees of our company, and invite them to go and take it, be part of this, the book launch and get books. And then he ended up buying 1,000 copies. It's crazy. You just never know.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. And I'm so looking forward to seeing what happens with this group. And, I'm just very excited for everybody out there who is listening to this and who's thinking, wow, this actually isn't all that difficult. And actually the first time we've heard of this was when Jeff Goins was on the show a long time ago. And this was something that I thought I had done, but I didn't do correctly. That episode, for those of you who don't remember, we'll link to it in the show notes and stuff, was Jeff and I talking before the launch of my book. And then in the middle, we time travel to after I launched the book. And then one of the mistakes I made was not mobilizing this group that I had created in the best way possible. That group then has kept growing, and it's about 17,000 people now because it's just a public Facebook group. And it's a great resource for authors, and I'll link to that in the show too. So this, however, seems a lot more personal, and I think that's definitely the way to do it. So do you have any final tips for people too? How can they really just be more personable and really make a deep connection? Because I think that's really what this is very much driven for, is that one to few connection to make a lot of action happen on launch day.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it is definitely that scenario, because it's amazing what 10 or 100 or 300 people who are really engaged can do versus having 1,000 people who aren't. But to a point you just made, it made me think of something, Pat, because you do have your other Facebook groups and there's other things like that. And a lot of people do try to create like a Facebook group,
mm-hmm.
but and where launch teams, not all launch teams are created equal. One key component in this is that you need to have people's email address, because Facebook groups, just like anything else on Facebook, not all the posts end up showing to your group members, or it might get lost in the feed or whatever. We make a priority that any important post or any action step or anything that's significant, we post it in the Facebook group, but we also follow up with the team with an email as well. And I try to keep emails short. It's real, like we want to respect people's time. We don't want to ask them to do things that don't really matter. and just make sure that we're using email to communicate things that are significant, because that'll be a big point. But the biggest thing for people to get started is really just to think about who you can invite to be a part of your team. Create a simple Wufoo form. And what I could do, Pat, if you want, I am building something out on this. It's not ready yet, but I could do kind of a quick start guide on bestsellerlaunchteam.com that people could get, that'll list out the forum, the tools that we use, and I can put a few resources on there too that might help them get a quick start, of how they can do it themselves. So I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, that would be great. Do you have a specific URL in mind for them?
Yeah, bestsellerlaunchteam.com.
Okay. Perfect. Man, I think this is all the information we need to move forward. I wasn't exactly sure how long this episode will go, but sometimes the best episodes are the ones that are concise, to the point, and very actionable, which I think this is. So I'm very excited for everybody out there who's going to be doing this. And again, that URL one more time, Daniel.
bestsellerlaunchteam.com.
Okay. And is there anywhere else people can find you and learn more about you?
Yeah, Twitter's good. At Daniel Decker is really where I'm probably most active. I'm horrible on everything else because I'm knee deep in everything in the work.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, and let's keep mobilizing this team that we've built together.
Awesome. Thanks,
all right, man.
Pat.
Take care.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that episode. A quick but very actionable episode that you can use to help build and mobilize your own launch team. So you can launch your next book, your next course, your next product, whatever it is you're coming out with, or just maybe you just want to share a message and go big with it. This is how you can make it happen. So again, Daniel, thank you so much for doing what you do and for coming on and sharing this information. And I'm really excited to see it all happen next week. If you want to get the notes and the links for this episode, just head on over to smartpassiveincome.com/session198, and you can get all of that information there.
Hey, and really quick, I want to let you know about a page on the website that might be really helpful for you. A lot of you are already taking action on what you've heard on the podcast, which is fantastic. But a lot of you have also messaged me asking for more, deeper information, more fine-tuned and highly targeted information for specific problems and pains that you might be having. So what I did was I actually put together a few courses. There's more courses actually coming down the road, but you could check out all the courses and things that are available to you there at smartpassiveincome.com/courses. My team and I have worked really hard to put together the best information that'll help you solve specific problems that you might be having in your business. So if you're just starting out and you need help and you need accountability, handholding, you want a community behind this as well, check it out, smartpassiveincome.com/courses. You can see what's available there. All different kinds of courses to help you through a number of different things you might be working on. And like I said, there are more courses coming down the road too. So one more time, smartpassiveincome.com/courses.
Guys, we are coming up to the final countdown here for the launch of my book, Will It Fly? I just want to thank you again so much for your support, and head on over to willitflybook.com right now. You could pre-order it, or again, if you're listening to this in the future, you can go ahead and check it out and purchase it. So again, thank you so much. I think you'll enjoy it quite a bit, and I love you guys. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next episode of Will It Fly, where we're actually going to be talking with my own team members, not just people like Daniel who I've hired to help out, but also Matt and Mindy and Jana, my content manager, who's going to help us discover what it all took to put this together. And hopefully it goes well next week, so we'll have some good things to say. All right, cheers. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you, and here we go.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast at www.smartpassiveincome.com.
I get it. You want to grow your business, but selling at scale feels overwhelming. You're drowning in complicated funnels, creating different lead magnets, or constantly posting on social media. And that gets exhausting fast, especially when you're trying to sell to hundreds or thousands of people. But what if you could sell at scale with a simple, powerful quiz? A score app quiz or assessment asks your audience key questions and gives them instant personalized results based on their answers. Your audience gets to know where they are now and shows them the steps they need to hit their goals. You can set up a quiz in minutes using Score App's templates and have a powerful lead magnet that'll do the selling for you. The best part is your audience actually wants to take this quiz, and you build huge amounts of trust before you even make a single offer. No hard sales, no chasing leads, just value at scale. Get 50% off the first 3 months using the discount code SPI. Just head to scoreapp.com/SPI. Again, that's scoreapp.com/SPI. More people dream about building their own business and being their own boss rather than retiring early. But a majority of them never even take the first steps to register the business. Why? Because starting a business can feel overwhelming. With legal forms, paperwork, finances, it's a lot. And that's where Taylor Brands comes in. Taylor is a complete business builder designed to make launching your business simple and stress-free. You can register your LLC in just minutes, keeping your personal and business assets separate from day one. And from there, you can get access to everything you need to get off the ground, from legal documents, licenses and permits, invoicing and bookkeeping tools, and even a 100-day business coaching program to help you hit the ground running. You'll also get a free personalized business plan, branding tools, and so much more. And of course, our listeners get an exclusive 35% discount to get started. Just head to taylorbrands.com/SPI. That's TAILORBRANDS.com/SPI. Stop dreaming, start building with Taylor Brands.